Hi, everybody. You ever wonder how you could click on the sub-level category without clicking any of the sub-subs um, and be found by just that sub, or clicking on the sub and would automatically check all of them, all the sub-subs? Well, look no further than, no, I'm just kidding. That's what this video is going to be all about. We're going to customize this because several partners and other BD owners have actually had an issue where, or a specific industry where they wanted their members to be able to click on the sub level and not just the sub levels. And if they clicked on the sub level, it would apply for all the sub levels, sub levels, or at least to make it easier and more intuitive for them to manage this whole thing. So this was created by a developer that sucks when he was working on BD. I won't say who he was, but he looks very happy here. You crazy bastard. Okay, so first we're gonna look for the it's called the bootstrap thing select categories or something like that. Yeah, this one. Okay. Every time you find weird code on the site, like a little bit funny code, and you'll see what I mean, like father sub, like what the that then somebody was touching this before. So in order to customize that in the way that you want to, because right now it only lets you check the subs, the subs. I mean, first we need to visually be able to see the little checkbox that's here. Okay, what I did there was just hide it with simple code. You can see here, if you're a developer, you know that if you do this and you do this, you're done. You can actually see the little checkbox here. See? We also got to move it a little bit to the right. So let's remove this code just in case. I'm on line 145. You go there, you remove that code, and you're done. But we also need to go to line 74. You'll see something that says UL listing line, etc., etc., etc. We need to add our margin class. Why? Why do we need to add that? Because if you just remove this, it's going to look like this. We need to move it a little bit to the right. So after you've done that, refresh live website because we just added a new widget to the custom widget list and refresh here. Okay. At that point, we should be able to see, whoa, that didn't go well. Oh, sorry, it's L margin. See, that's why I suck as a developer. Um, dun, 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 dun. L margin. There we go. We do that, and we have this. It should actually. Okay, there we go. So now we have the same functionality, same functionality, only that the look changed. We are now able to click this one. Okay, you are now able to click that one. But here's the thing: from an intuitive human point of view, if I click here, I would assume that I would click all this. Okay, and then I can just uncheck the ones that I'm not offering. Okay, so I'm assuming that if I click here, it will also do this. And then let's say that I don't offer this service, I just click that one. That's it. Right now, the only thing that it does is that if you uncheck all the subs, it unchecks the sub. That's all that it does because of the old behavior. We want to change that. So we're gonna go to the JavaScript area. Again, I'm gonna repeat. We just edited line 145 and removed the height and style display none there. And on line 74, we added the L margin class. That's all that we did up to now. That's the visual aspect of it. Now we're gonna scroll all the way down and we're gonna look for this puppy. Line 274. It says input check change something something something. We just enter that one there. And we're gonna add, remember the father sub that I mentioned above? Let's recall it here. Father sub. We want to put a rule that if they click on that, it checks or unchecks depending on if they actually uh, checked the box or unchecked the box. So we're gonna put this here. We're gonna say, yeah, that input that has a class of father sub on click, which means if they click on it. And if you're a developer and you tell me why you're using the on event instead of like directly like this, because I want to make sure that it propagates properly. When it bubbles up or bubbles down or bubbles basically, I want to make sure that it always works and it doesn't accumulate, create an issue on the DOM, etc. That's why I always use on. Like I actually use on here too. But anyway, um, so here it says, well, if they click that box, then I want to do a couple of checks. I want to check that if they actually check the box or uncheck the box. And I also want to get a specific, let me show you what I mean here, value. That's called the data sun. Okay, so this sun value, which is 0 here, it tells me what ID it's tied to. And this ID is actually all the children of this option. So what I'm saying is, well, if somebody clicks here, get this ID, whatever that value is, that data sun value there, and look for an ID that has the word service and then that number. And then after you do that, just check all the checkboxes here. And if they actually check this one, check them all. If they uncheck this one, uncheck them all. That's all that I need to, or at least on this video, I want to do. So let's create a value here and a variable, and we're gonna do this. The sun. Remember, I'm putting sun here because it's literally called sun here. So it's a data, and then what's the name of the data attribute? Sun. So there you go. We got that one there. Beautiful. Sun value, yeah, that's pretty straightforward. And we're gonna check if something is checked. So let's just call it that. Is checked. And because they clicked on this, we'll just say is checked. Is this checked? That's what I'm saying there, like a question mark. If it is checked, then do something. If it's not checked, then do something else. Meaning when they click on it and they uncheck it, it will uncheck all the kids or the children. And if they actually click on it and they check it, it will also check all the kids. Okay. So because we know that it's service and then the number of the sun value here, we're just gonna do this. It's super straightforward here. Leave me a page. Okay. I'm sorry, guys.
No, este no.
Okay.
No, este.
Okay. Okay.
Este no.
Let's see. Ta-da!
Sí.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, there we go. So, we come here, service, and we got, okay, all right. I'm making a mistake here. Sun value, because of the value that we have at the top, okay? And then because it's an input, right? Yeah, oh, okay. Okay, it's an input. Then we got, let me just double check that I typed this correctly. Yep. So we're gonna say, well, you're in your properties, your checked property, because you're a checkbox. We're gonna say true here, which means if they clicked and checked the parent subcategory, then also check the children categories. If they didn't, we just say false. That's all that we're gonna do here. Not much. And yeah, we don't need this either. And if I'm not mistaken, that's all that we need. And we should be able to check it here now. Okay, so let me open a couple here. If I click here, that's the normal behavior from BD. But if I click here, this is the new changes. If I click here, does that. If I click there and I don't want that one, then same thing happens. Okay, here, that's it. Okay. Now we also want to trigger. Let me explain. When they get saved in the database, the way that it was done in the old code is that if you clicked on it, it actually added the option here. You can see them getting added there. We want to also trigger that. It's not just the visual aspect, it's also the triggering of that part. So we're gonna also add that code in there. So we go here and let's start. Okay, let's do it here. We copy this whole thing, and because we want to trigger, remember the triggering event here. It triggers this. That triggering event is the click event. So we want to trigger or fake that triggering event. So what we do is at the top in the beginning, we put a trigger. That's all. And let's call it click. Now, remember, we're checking if the subcategory is checked. We want to also trigger all the subcategories that are not checked. I'm gonna repeat that. We want to trigger all the subcategories that are not checked. Meaning, if they already had something checked, you don't want this to be triggered again, because it will either go away from here or it will start duplicating those values here. So you're gonna see like a bunch of them here. So for that, thanks to CSS, we have the not checked parameter. Put it like this. I don't know what happened. There we go. Not checked. Okay, so this means you're gonna look for the subcategories of the subcategory that I just clicked on. You're gonna look for those input that are not checked, and you're gonna trigger them. So it looks like I clicked them, and then you're gonna visually show that they're checked. That's what this is happening here. We're gonna do the same thing for the triggering down here, but this time we're just gonna say if they're checked. That's all. That's all that we're doing. Okay, let's save that, and we're gonna double check two things here: that it's working in a very intuitive way that we understand as humans, and that it's saving properly. So we go here, we click like that. If I uncheck it, that's working. Okay. If I click this one, that's working. If I click this, it takes them away. If I click those two and then I uncheck this one, that's also working. So everything is working there correctly. Okay. Let me click. If I uncheck this one, it means that exactly we're good. And I do this, I do that. That means that there's three subcategory one, sub one. You can see it here. Two, sub one, and two, sub three. Let's save that, and then let's come back here again. Okay. Let's see. And we're gonna double check. It says sub one, and sub three. It saved them properly. Awesome. That's good. If I uncheck, it's working properly. You can see. Check. Awesome. Okay. So that's that. That's the only thing that you needed to do. Again, it's I don't know, like 10 lines of code, maybe less, something like that. And the lines of code at the top about the CSS. So with that said, I hope this helps everybody that actually needed this type of feature in the subcategories and subcategories portion of their members area. Think positive, and big hugs and big love to all. Bye.